Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show. We started a little early. Court came by and wanted to talk some NHL trade deadline, and he made an excellent point. You can add all the big names you want, but are you making your team better? That is the question. That is the burning question. So we shall see. Patrick Kane to the Rangers. All kinds of players flying all over the place. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show as we get closer to the NHL trade deadline. Boy, big names flying everywhere. The Lightning still making deals and maybe even setting up for another deal to come. When is the deadline? Friday?
It's tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow is the deadline. So welcome into the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group here. We are live on RHS TV, which if you haven't downloaded that app, please do. You can do that on your television or your smart TV or Roku or anything. We're on there live every day, 10 to 12. You can also see all the other shows. If you miss it, you can catch up later on in the day. So there we are. We're on your TV too now. Not only your phone and everywhere else, but your TV. We haunt you. We will stalk you. So we're going to get into the Lightning's latest trade, bringing in Michael Eyssimont from San Jose, or Eyssimont, according to the pronunciation guide. That's what it is, but the pronunciation guide isn't always correct, I've learned. So we will talk about that. We've got some Bucks to talk about up at the Combine. We're going to get into a little bit of Todd Bowles today, not so much for the things that he said, because, of course, it's not a whole lot of – it's misinformation season in the NFL, but kind of the way Todd Bowles is carrying himself of late. There's a noticeable difference. I don't think there's any question about that. And frankly, that's something that I welcome to see from, Todd Bowles, and maybe something we didn't really see from him last year in that awkward head coaching situation. So we'll get into that storyline a little bit as well. And the Rays obviously continue this spring season, knocking the ball around the yard, which is good to see as they pound the Yankees. So,
and the first game that you can watch is on Bally's today.
Oh, is it really?
By the way, it's the return to Bally's. So excitement there.
Yeah, we get to watch the pitch clock.
Yeah, I get to come with my report about the pitch clock.
There you go.
I'm gonna give it a shot today. I'm gonna give it a shot today.
You have to go into it knowing that this is a whole new gig. It's a whole new gig. So we have to kind of get used to it and then okay. And it will become second nature to everybody, to the fans and the players. And you'll just have a game that probably resembles more like what the game used to look like back in the, I don't want to say, well, maybe more the 60s and 70s in terms of the pace of the game. Of course, they didn't have 5,000 commercials back then either on television, but that was the pace of the game that gave you routinely 2-hour games. Imagine that, routinely getting 2-hour Major League Baseball games. I'm okay with that. That's really good. That is moving.
Maybe that's why I'm so against this, is because all I've ever known is what we have, which is which I don't think many go 3 hours nowadays.
Most.
I don't think they really go to 3, do they?
I think most do.
Maybe. I don't know. But maybe I'm just so used to it because it's all I know. Mm-hmm. So this is my first change, whereas you've already seen what it used to be and then what it became. And now you want it to be back what it used to be.
Yeah, baseball was way
So
different.
maybe that's why I have my take that I do at the moment.
Baseball was way different growing up. I mean, it was a much different game. There was a lot more defense. It was more defensive oriented. It wasn't obviously as much scoring as you have, not as many home runs. But there were, I never really thought to myself, wow, guys just don't hit home runs. I mean, back in the day, George Foster hit 50 home runs without steroids. Mickey Mantle hit 56 home runs. Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs. I mean, there were, and even in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you had guys putting up big numbers. Obviously, late 80s, early 90s, we get into a little bit of the steroid action, but there was action in the game. That's what I always remember is action in the game. And this game that we see now is just slow and plodding and strikeouts. And to me, it's more about the strikeouts and the walks than anything else. And that to me is just boring baseball. So this, with the no shifts and the changes that they made, I think more than anything, and we tend to like lock in on time of game, like we're just trying to get the game shorter. That's not what we're doing here. What we're trying to do is get more action in the game. More action in the game. And I think by speeding up the process a little bit, I think the batters and the pitchers are going to be, I just think we're going to get more action, more swings, more contact, more everything. And that's what I think baseball's really going for. So let's see, more stolen bases, more movement, more stuff going on. So we'll obviously not having a shift. You heard Matt Joyce the other day who was on with us. That's going to put averages, I would say, I'll be interested to see it, but I would say 10, 15, 20 points higher maybe.
I hope so.
For left-handed batters especially. We'll see.
Can't have a Major League Baseball where the average batting average is 236.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
No.
Like we did last year.
That's not good. That is not good. All right, so let's get into it a little bit here. And by the way, Jordan Chameleon jumping in early. Good morning, Jordan, to you. Saying it didn't surprise me the Bucs were at the bottom of satisfaction as an organization on Tretter's NFLPA survey. That was very interesting.
Very interesting. More so than just the Bucs, but the Bucs, I think, ranked 26th in the league?
Yeah, I think so.
With all these categories combined.
Yeah, that was surprising to me. Very, very surprising. So we'll dive down deep into that a little bit later on. But I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the Bucs and the combine and where they're going with this, because obviously now we're getting deep into player acquisition, who they're looking at, what they're looking at. Guys are coming in. You're getting the size, the speed, et cetera. And Todd Bowles is taking on a new tone, so to speak. And last year, obviously, put in a position where these were not his coaches, but certainly guys that he's coached around. It's not like he was thrown into some awkward situation. These are all guys that he's coached with and won a Super Bowl with, and Tom Brady and a lot of veteran players. So, and we're not going to sit here and apologize for the position that Todd Bowles was handed. I mean, clearly, if you're a great head coach, you need to take the situation, whatever it is, adapt to it, run with it, use the positives, and make something of it. They won a division title, is what it is. 8-10, we saw what it was. But to me, one of the biggest failings of this coaching staff and what seemed dysfunctional was, you had the offense doing one thing, the defense doing another, and the special teams just sucking, and there was no continuity. There was no complementary football. The fact that we know now that Byron left, which was, I think in some terms definitely a scapegoat, but also was a guy that was kind of doing his own thing and was not really listening to Todd Bowles, so much so that they were contemplating firing him in the middle of the season because they just weren't running the football. And for whatever reason, they did not. And I get a sense now that Todd Bowles is like, you know what, if I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to go down swinging. And I'm not going to worry about hurting Bruce Arians' feelings, Jason Light's feelings. I'm the head coach. I have to make decisions that are for the best interest of Tom Brady's feelings. Obviously, Tom's not here anymore. But more of a look, man. I've got to be able to make this my team. And I get a sense from what I heard in these interviews that he's a little bit more in charge, or certainly feels that way. So let's get into some of the sound from the combine, and you can lead us through this since you cut the sound up and tell me what's what.
Yeah, we'll go with first because everybody wants to know about the quarterback position, and this one is first off what he looks for in a quarterback if he had to pick.
Okay.
Obviously, intelligence, number one. You don't want to lose the game, so you got to be smart, which everybody else does. Intelligence, arm strength, how well you know your system and how well you can manage the game and get rid of the game. Know when to take shots. You got to have a lot of heart. Obviously, there's going to be a time of the game where you got to make some plays. You're not going to be just immune to everything, but you try to make sure the guy is very intelligent and understands what's happening around him.
Yeah, I think that, make some plays and, it might be a little bit of a nod towards, Brady at a lot of different points, getting rid of the ball and not, trying to hold it to let plays develop and get the ball down the field. That was which obviously affects your running game. It affects everything. You've got to be able to do everything. Defenses know what patterns you fall into, and if that's the way you're going to play, they're going to compress the defense, which makes it harder to run, which makes it harder to run short passes, and they're daring you to throw the ball down the field, which the Bucs didn't do enough, in my opinion, last year because Brady didn't have the protection or didn't trust the protection. So I think a lot of these answers are, I don't want to say shots at Brady, but just trying to explain how hard it was for them to be in sync last year.
Because they didn't have everything perfect around him,
Right.
which is it's, and again, that's not taking a shot at Brady. That's just, it is what it is.
No. If you're going to go with Brady, if this is at 45 years old, we saw what the winning formula is.
Yeah.
You got to have great players at every eligible position.
And this is what I asked myself, because I know that you're getting a mobility upgrade in Kyle Trask, right?
Mhm.
I know that, right?
Imagine anyone ever speaking that sentence. A mobility upgrade.
A
in Kyle
mobility
Trask.
upgrade in
It's
Kyle
like,
Trask.
who was the last guy?
Yeah.
Although I think Trask is undersold a little bit for his ability to move, but Brady's was negative.
He's going to look like Michael Vick next to Brady.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be honest here. But, no, I mean, that remains to be seen, though. And then, the other thing you said about was intelligence and, getting the ball away on time and things like that. And then, again, that just all the conversations we've had this week about quarterback, they all are kind of like morphing into one another. And when I hear speak, when I heard Canales speak, and now when I've heard Bowles speak, it just comes back to my original point that this team's not going after Anthony Richardson, are they?
No.
Because none of these answers, to me, scream that.
No.
They scream somebody who has to be accurate. Like, it has to. Like, it's like, if you don't have it, you might have everything else.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that one, it screams like we don't want you.
Right. And they're emphasizing the football intelligence of the quarterback. Not saying Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I'm not saying that at all.
But he's not versed in the NFL game. He doesn't have NFL football intelligence. So
1 year of starting, it's impossible.
It's impossible, and so they're looking for someone with a more mature game.
Correct.
There's no question about that. And if you're looking at any of the prospects in the draft, I think Hendon Hooker would certainly be a guy that has a very mature game that you have access to.
Allow me to jump into your brain here. Did you see the video yesterday from the combine that was going around?
Which one?
Mr. Bryce Young. Did you see the video? Bryce Young walking around the combine yesterday with a white bag on his hand, and guess what logo was on that bag?
What?
A Tampa Bay Buccaneers logo.
Oh, come on.
Was on the bag that he was walking around the combine with yesterday.
I missed that. How did I miss that?
Greg Allman put it out there yesterday, and of course, all the Bucs Twitter, goes crazy about all their hypothetical scenarios. Everybody's trying to draw up their trades and everything, but I don't know. Just put it out there.
He met with the Bucs and they gave him a
He was a little
parting
goodie
gift?
bag, but he was walking around with it.
Oh, interesting. At what point do the Bucs jump up to get Bryce Young, and what's that going to cost?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you about to say goodbye to your first for the next 2 years at least, maybe even 3, and say goodbye to your 2s. It'd be a massive haul you're giving up for Bryce Young, which the Bucs I don't even think are entertaining.
No. Again, the price is going to be at least 3 number ones, or 2 ones and a 2 ones and a 2.
Yeah. What did Washington when they traded up to get RG3? I remember that was a haul.
Was that 4 ones?
And that was in 2012.
Yeah.
I think the price on things are different, or even more now.
Yeah. No, it's going to be at least 3 ones or 2. Way more than the Bucs should be.
It's not a realistic
spending.
thing, but I'm
No.
just throwing it out there.
That's
Walking
silly.
around with the bag. It's one of those typical combine stories,
Just absolutely silly. And in fact, I would not. Again, I think Bryce Young is a tremendous quarterback, but his size really bothers me. It really bothers me. 5'10 and a half, 108. He can come in at 195. He ain't 195. He plays at 185.
Look, there it is. There's the bag.
Oh, it's not even a nice bag. It's like
It's
a
a bag.
plastic
It's a bag, though.
He got his bag.
Got that swag bag.
You got that at Alabama. No, he's not. I don't see in a scenario where that happens. And if you're a team that needs to really fulfill your roster with cheaper players because you're in salary cap hell, why in the hell would you be giving up first-round draft picks to get a quarterback that, I'm sorry, he's unproven at this level, and that size factor. And I know the game is changing dramatically. I get it. And shorter quarterbacks are going to be able to play in this league. But that's really small. That's really, really small. And then had he played at a different school where he didn't have such incredible offensive line talent in front of him, and I know Alabama wasn't as good as they normally are, but they were still damn good on every level. I don't know. Again, I certainly wouldn't give up that much.
You.
No. And, C.J. Stroud looks way more the part than Bryce. And I comparing the two, and I think C.J. Stroud's that game against Georgia made him a lot of money because he did a lot of things in that game that were eye-opening in terms of his talent set, in terms of moving around, making big plays against really, really top-notch competition. So, those two guys really haven't been on my radar because I thought they were unattainable for the Buccaneers. But I guess if they really wanted to get out there and do it, they could find a way. They could find a way to do it. So, we'll see. We'll see for sure. All right, so back to Todd Bowles. Let's play number one, the culture that he wants to create, and he's talked about recreating the culture without Tom Brady.
Well, the biggest thing he brought is a winning culture. Obviously, we have a winning culture. We can have different cultures and still win. Tom's not here anymore. A lot of the vets that we had aren't here anymore, so we have to create another culture with Canales and his offensive scheme as well as blending with the defense. So there'll be a new culture and chemistry created every year, no matter whether we have stayed the same or not. But we can create our own culture here, winning, and that comes with working together, working hard, and understanding what we have to do to win.
Well, listen, he says he's going to have to create a whole new culture, and we don't even know who the starting quarterback is. And here's another thing. Is there a leadership vacuum on this team now with Brady being gone? And presumably or very likely, the fact that defensively you have Devin White.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's your leader on the defense.
Okay.
Although we want to see him play more like the leader.
Levante David may not be
Levante
back.
David, we don't know yet. But I never had taken it, and you maybe can speak to it more. He's not a general, doesn't seem like.
Devin White?
When we use Levante David. Like when we use the whole general lieutenant scenarios, like when we talk about Rondé Barber and that defense, he seems like he's more the lieutenant than the general.
Yeah, no question about it. But he leads. He's one of those quiet leaders. He's more of a Rondé Barber leader type than a Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks leader type.
Correct.
And but Devin, when you have controversies about loafing. And, the issues that popped up last year with Devin, I just don't see him as a consummate leader of that type.
He wants to be the leader. That I know.
Mm-hmm. Well, then he needs to act more like it.
The play's got to line up to it, though.
Yeah, the play's got to line up to it. Number one, you've got – and I'm telling you, as much as – Todd Bowles wants the time. We'll hear. You have the bite on Devin, right? We'll hear that. Maybe he needs to step out of Levante's shadow. Maybe that's it. And even though Levante is not a real verbal guy, he's the leader of that defense. Don't be fooled. Levante David is the leader of that defense and has been for quite some time.
Who's the leader on offense right now?
That's the thing.
It's Ryan Jensen, the guy. It's Ryan Jensen.
It's Ryan Jensen. He's the leader of the offense. I put Mike Evans in that category.
Yep.
Mike Evans, Ryan Jensen, Chris Godwin. Those are your three guys. And for my money, those are great leaders. Yeah. Those are great culture setters, all three of those guys. But on defense, I think we're seriously lacking. Vita Vea is obviously the linchpin of that defense, but he is not a leader. He's not a vocal leader. He's that that lieutenant that you want, though. So he's not that guy. And I'm not sure Devin is that guy.
And I don't know if Winfield is either.
Winfield can be. And, what is this, his third year? Going to third or fourth year?
Fourth year,
Fourth year. He'll be his fourth year. So, he could definitely step into that
And I've
role.
heard Bowles mention that Winfield, and he's looking at Winfield on defense, and I think he's mentioned Tristan Wirfs on offense.
Yeah, Tristan
That it's
Wirfs
kind of their turn now to morph into the team leaders as we go into this next phase of the Bucs.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think, that culture is something that really is up for grabs to develop. And if they do end up bringing in some type of veteran quarterback, You know, is that a guy that could be one of your leader? I've heard Jacoby Brissett is one of those type guys. Guys really look up to him. He's an elder statesman. He just seems to be that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Even though he's not a superstar, he brings that credibility. You know, bust his ass, hard worker, tough dude. You know, been through a lot, all that stuff, and he's been successful.
I'll give you another name that nobody's mentioned.
Who's that?
Andy Dalton.
I actually mentioned him yesterday, and
he played quietly well last year.
Because the Saints did nothing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, of all the quarterbacks that you're going after, though, a lot of them, like, when I think of, like, veteran leader, those guys don't come to mind. But
and nobody wants Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, to me, comes to mind if
Right.
you're going for veteran leader. If it was Dalton and Trask in the same room, that's the kind of guy I think you'd want next to Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
And a guy that can still play. I think last year he was honestly, I'd say he was serviceable. He was serviceable, and that's all you're kind of looking for, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
and he'd be really cheap, I think.
He would be that veteran guy, but you're not really. He's kind of that. If we have to go to him, he's a competent guy. We can move the football. We can win some games. But the ceiling is just so low.
Oh yeah, but I'm looking more from a culture setting standpoint, having that veteran guy in there.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, as opposed to a Baker Mayfield.
As opposed to the Baker Mayfields of the world. That's my point there.
Much more quiet, professional. Yeah, and I would put Brissett in that category as well. Ryan Tannehill is a guy that nobody's really talking about. We could turn up our nose at him, but that's kind of the quarterback that they're looking for in terms of, intelligence. Throw the ball me to you. Just game manager type guy that's been a winner. Again, I'm not stumping for him, but it really depends on what their philosophy is and where they're going with this. Because right now when you're pivoting, and obviously clearly this is a pivot, you got to have your eye on a long-term solution. Now, is that Kyle Trask? We talked a lot about that yesterday. He's going to get his shot. We're going to find out if Kyle Trask is the long-term solution. But if they draft a quarterback, and I think that's very likely that they're going to draft a quarterback. What opportunity does that guy get? It's hard to give two guys all the reps with the ones with the way they practices condensed now and the opportunities you get. So it's really hard to try to truly develop or truly have two young guys battle it out, But to me, I would like to see the Bucs bring in three guys, all that have upside. Okay, even a veteran that may have some upside to him that's not been realized yet. That had some. We haven't mentioned the name Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold a guy that here's a guy that played well in flashes for the Panthers last year? I thought. Is he a guy given a new? And clearly Todd Bowles has some history with him. And so that would kind of determine whether he would get a shot. But there's a guy who you say, could he be a Jared Goff type that put into a different situation, a Geno Smith type that becomes better? I don't know. He certainly has the arm. He can move around. He's got experience. Is that a guy that would fit in this locker room? I don't know, but I think it's definitely an option. So Sam Darnold, draft a Hendon Hooker, Kyle Trask. If that were your quarterback room going into the season, what do you say? That's interesting. You got a guy with a huge upside and a huge ceiling in Hendon Hooker that you have no idea. You got Trask with what you hope is a Kirk Cousins type ceiling, which is not bad. If you could get Kirk Cousins production out of Kyle Trask for the next 5 to 7 years, would you take it? I think you would. You could do worse. And people, you can say all you want about Kirk Cousins, but he makes the postseason. He wins games. He puts up numbers. Doesn't win a lot of big games. We've certainly seen that. He's not perfect. I ain't saying he's the end-all, be-all, but quarterbacking is hard in this league. Getting good production out of a quarterback is hard in this league. And certainly you'd like to have the Josh Allens of the world, the Lamar Jacksons of the world, but we don't have any of that right now. So what can you hope for? There's three guys right there in a quarterback room that you could say, there's some upside to all of them. Let's see what happens. So, if that's where, and they're all cheap too. They all would be very, very cheap. So it fit certainly in your budget. All All right, to that end, let's hear Todd Bowles talk about the free agency outlook. Here's number 2. Todd Bowles from the Combine.
No, it doesn't. But we're going to be smart about it. We understand we're over the cap coming into this. We have a plan, and we have a long-term plan that we're going to go by. We don't want to sacrifice 1 year for paying someone as opposed to sacrificing the future, but we'll go out and we'll be smart about it. And if the guy has a long-term plan or can hang out and play with us, we'll take a look at it. It's also a desirable place because we do have talent around him, and people may want to come and do 1-year prove-it deals. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll go down forward. But we have a plan of what we want to do.
What is that plan? What is that plan? I think and again, don't really listen to what they say, look at what they do. They haven't been able to do much yet because, we don't know, are they going to use the franchise tag? Is that going to go? I don't think they can afford to put it on Jamel Dean, but maybe they'll use it on somebody else. I don't know. On a lower level free agent, they got a lot of free agents to bring back. Are they, they're certainly not going to be out there buying up, the best tight end in the market. That's not happening. So, most of this is going to be directed towards the draft and bringing back some of your own players that are going to be serviceable and be able – and you need those guys. You need those glue guys. You need those Will Golston type guys. And I think there's value in bringing them back at low numbers. They know the defense. They know what you're getting out of them. They're dependable in that way. I think Levante David is in that category. If you can get him to come back at a much lower number – which I hope he would be agreeable to because I don't think he wants to go anywhere else and try to do something new, right? That would be good. I think that would be good for the Buccaneers. But I think that's kind of the way they're going. I don't think you're going to see any really big splashes come in here, keep some of your free agent, and any of the impact players that are going to be brought in here are going to be through the draft.
That's probably what it's going to be. And to your point about like the Will Golston, to me, it's like if I wanted to bring him back, okay. I just don't want him to play as much as he has the last couple years.
Right.
Because it's clear that he's lost a couple steps. And if he came back for one more year, it'd probably be like, okay, this is your last year. Help out the young guys that we have. But the Logan Halls of the world need to move into that Will Golston role, I think.
Yeah.
And we have to start to see what we have there. So I'm not opposed to bring – like Nacho's a guy that I would definitely bring back. If anything, he's a good guy to have in the locker room. He's a solid hand that you can rotate in and out with Vita Vea at times. So – that's fine with me, but like you said, I don't think they're going to have many additions.
No,
I just can't. They don't really have, but they just can't. They don't have the flexibility to.
Well, you know what could be perceived as additions are guys like Logan Hall stepping up. I mean, he was a non-factor last year. He's a high pick. That's a guy that needs to mature from 1 year to the next, put on some weight, and be an impact player. It'd be almost like getting another first-round pick. Come in and play like one.
Yeah.
You didn't last year. And what do we always hear? First year to second year, your biggest improvement. Time for that dude to step up.
Yeah, it's the last year's class has got to take some, like Zion McCollum's got to take steps forward.
Yes.
I mean, Luke Gedeke, we'll see where they have him on the line. But
move him back to what's natural. Do you get something? Do you get second-round value out of Luke Gedeke now as a right tackle? Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. Logan Hall put on weight. We already know Rashad White's going to have the backfield. Not to himself, but he's going to be the number one guy we think.
Keyshawn Vaughn, even though it wasn't last year's
I mean,
class.
Cade Otton did some good things throughout last season. He could use some more seasoning. I think they're going to pump something else into that tight end room as well next to him because I don't think they want O'Keefe to be tight end too.
Deep draft and tight ends, I would expect them to
I think
trade down and get it.
They're going to get somebody that I think is more specialized. A specialized pass catcher. Like Cade Otton's one of those jack-of-all-trades guys. I think they're going to try to get a specialized pass catcher to blend with him in there.
See, I think Cade's more of the specialized. I think he's more of the pass catcher than the blocker. I think they're going to go try to find a guy that's a little bit more rugged, like that can be counted on.
I was going to say I wanted someone more athletic.
Than Cade?
Yeah, I wanted somebody. I wanted somebody a little bit more athletic than Cade.
Okay.
I think you can do more. I think you can do more in this class. I think there's a lot of guys who are more athletic.
Okay.
And then Coe can be your third guy that you have as the blocker, and there's your tight end room.
Yeah, I mean, O'Keefe, we love him, but he's a marginal guy. You can find somebody better than him and somebody bigger and better. But you know what? I mean, you get 7 to 8 targets a year and you drop 3 of them, or 2 or 3. I can go find that guy. I hate to say it, but nice guy, great dude, but. You can that's a guy you can upgrade, no question about it. So that'll be something that they look to do, upgrade in in the tight end position. All right, here's Bowles on number 3. Have to revamp the offense. Boy, ain't that the truth?
It's going to be offensive continuity as a whole. You know, losing a guy like Tom Brady, you have to revamp your offense some, and we have a new guy coming in with a new system. I think the chemistry is going to be very important in the offseason, bringing those guys together and understanding what we're trying to do. And that'll be the biggest and most important thing right now coming into the offseason with a new coordinator.
Yeah, this offense is going to look so dramatically different. And I don't know if it's going to be – it could turn out to be a complete cluster, Fazoli. But I'm just looking for something different. It'll be nice to see some motion, some misdirection, some RPOs, some of the modern NFL offense. I'm here for it, and so much of it is obviously up in the air because we're not set on quarterback. All right, here's Todd Bowles talking about Devin White and his future with the Buccaneers.
No, Devin takes a lot of heat for some of the things everybody tells us is missed tackle, but he makes tackles that I haven't seen linebackers make in 30 years. He can make plays for us. He's still one of our best 2 players on defense. Have a lot of faith in him. His growth mentally, understanding the system, it's not an easy system, has been outstanding. I think the world of the guy. I think he's a heck of a ball player, and I think this will probably be one of his better seasons.
Well, I want to see it.
What was the quote there? He makes tackles that I haven't seen in the NFL in 30 years.
And I was listening to Joe Buck's Fans, Ira Kaufman podcast, great podcast, by the way. Check that out. And they asked him, okay, well, what plays are we talking about? And he was like, well, there's the sideline to sideline plays when there's a wide receiver screen out on the edge and he runs out there and holds it to a 3-4 yard gain. Yeah, those are spectacular plays. I'd rather see him, be better inside the tackles, take on blockers, get rid of them, and do his thing. So
how about cover somebody?
Cover somebody would be nice as well.
In the middle of the field.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Dan Lucas from News Channel 8 is going to join us, and we'll talk all things Buccaneers. Looks like he's got his coffee ready, and he's coming. I think he's coming in hot with some hot takes. So Dan Lucas, News Channel 8, coming up next. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you. Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes, so call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES, lawgroup.com, and Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Check out both those websites for more information. All right, we bring in my good friend, former colleague, and handsome man that we see on StreamYard now, the great Dan Lucas, joining us here. Their hair looks good, bro.
Morning here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, partner? How are you?
Oh, not much. Is that a Tiger Woods hat, Nick?
Oh, yeah, that's TW.
I'm rocking the Tiger Woods hat today.
You look good, brother.
Hey, you look good because you got the Man United going on there.
Yeah, all the Red Devils fans.
Yeah, you're celebrating the
gear,
League Cup victory. There you go.
Get the gear back out. You know, they beat Barcelona, knocked them out of the Europa League. They're going to make a run in the Premier League. They're still in the FA Cup. JP's taking notes of all of this. I can tell.
What you said something about a cup? Like what, a coffee cup or FA Cup? What is that?
Well, I'm winning the coffee cup.
Yes, you are. That's a glass cup. Very nice.
You like that? Let you know how much you have left. Manchester United.
To the bottom of the glass, right?
Well,
okay.
If you look for the top, it's half full all the time because I'm a half full guy. So,
what is your coffee choice? What is your coffee choice?
Anything dark.
Just
got to be dark.
I've
turned
roasted.
into an espresso snob in the past 2 years. I never used to be like that, and now I can't stand anything that's not number 11 on the scale of 10. It really is a culture.
Can you imagine? Like, I've heard people like, "Oh yeah, I cut coffee out." I'm like, "What?"
No,
like, what?
Not happening.
Like I think if of the top 5 things I could not live without, coffee is definitely up there. I mean, it is up there.
Yeah. I had a financial guy once go through my books, and he comes back with his report, and he says, "All right, here we go. I noticed you like to go to Starbucks a lot." And I said, "Whoa, hang on. Everybody's got a thing.
Yeah.
I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do heroin. I like a cup of coffee once in a while. And you're telling me that if I cut out Starbucks, I'll be a millionaire by age 78.
Don't care."
Right. Exactly.
I'll choose the life of a pauper. No question. All right. So what is your take on where the Bucs are going now with the quarterback position? Clearly, this week has been the Kyle Trask love fest. Are you buying into? I mean, after all I've heard this year, I was shocked that he didn't play last year ahead of Brady. Evidently, as hard as he works and as good as he is, I'm like, why do we have that bum back there that couldn't even move when we had this superstar on the sideline? According to everything I'm hearing about Kyle Trask.
Well, I'll go back to exactly 1 year ago at the Combine when they were saying the same things. Yeah. We need Kyle Trask to compete for the job. We need to see what he has. And I was a little disappointed in the preseason that he wasn't out there with the ones.
Yeah.
He was still in line behind Blaine. He got more reps, and at times it was, he was a little green. But I would like to have seen him out there with the ones behind, especially the O-line, see what he could do. I just didn't get enough of a sample. And apparently what I'm hearing is, he's great at practice, gets along with everybody, and he's fitting into the system, which is brand new now.
Right.
So it's a fresh start in a sense for Trask, but they seem to really believe in what he can do. And I know at times in Florida he looked terrific. And that's all we have to go off of. 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it would have been nice to see a whole game of him playing against the Atlanta Falcons in a real NFL football game. But of course, Brady had to play that day for whatever reason. I still don't know. So the jury is still way out on him. Do you think they're going to draft a quarterback highly in this draft? I tend to think they will. I think they're looking for their next guy, and I think they want to give Kyle Trask some competitions. And why wouldn't you? To me, when this workouts open in OTAs, we should have Kyle Trask. I would love to see Hendon Hooker in that group, and then maybe a veteran of the Jacoby Brissett, Sam Darnold ilk that you can rely on if these other two guys just completely aren't ready or just not the guy. What do you think?
Well, since the system's new, all that's on the table, in my opinion. Yeah. At first, I thought, okay, say Trask is the leader going to the offseason. Maybe you draft somebody, but not from that upper echelon. And then you would bring back someone, maybe a Ryan Griffin, just because he knows the personnel so well. And that would be what pushes Trask. But I think now with Dave Canales doing his own thing, that you completely scrap everything. And so you have a chance to aim high if you'd like. I don't know what it's going to take to move up and get those guys. Remember, Hooker's dealing with a knee injury.
Right.
So I don't know what he can do.
Everybody thinks he's a second and third round guy, but everybody had a first round grade on him. I don't understand in the modern NFL, especially now with stem cells and guys coming back from ACL injuries in 6 months, why you suddenly have a first round grade on a quarterback. And now he falls to the second and third round because he's not going to be available for another 3 months when training camp starts. To me, if that's the situation, it fits right into where the Bucs are, because they don't have to have him come in right away and compete. That we can see what we got in Kyle Trask, and if he blows the doors off, okay, well, you got a guy sitting there that has value to some other team. You can trade him, or if Kyle doesn't do that, you have another guy that can compete for the job, and you also have a veteran. So I think it would fit in perfectly to where the Bucs are, because they don't need a guy. They don't need to draft a quarterback right now to come in and be the starter. Right. They can have some patience, right?
Absolutely. And I also you mentioned Sam Darnold and that group of free agents.
Yeah.
I do think there's going to be a budget free agent out there.
Yeah.
That's going to be available to probably take the job.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, coming out of training camp.
A veteran starter will be the guy that takes the first snap, you think?
In my opinion, yeah, I think so. And I also think that in this survival mode for Todd Bowles and the quest to kind of keep this thing going, that's going to happen.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and because Todd knows he has to win, and that's what makes, I don't know. I know nobody's talking about Sam Darnold, but obviously Bowles has some history with Sam Darnold. I don't know if it's good or bad. That's the thing. I'm not that guy. I don't even want that guy anywhere near my team. But I said this, and I don't know if you would agree. Todd Bowles seemed, and we just played some of the sound, he has a little bit of a different demeanor to him this year, from what I can detect. He's much more in charge. He seems more himself. Much more comfortable in his own skin, as maybe he was forced into a position last year that he wasn't completely comfortable with. He didn't feel like he could fire Byron Leftwich. I think he kind of gives me the sense of, oh, you know what? If I'm going down, it's going to be all my doing. I'm going to make the decisions, and if I want to fire somebody, I'm going to freaking fire somebody. If things aren't going well, I'm going to do this. I'm not waiting for anybody else's, concurrence on things. This is going to be my way, and that's the way I'm going to handle it. And frankly, I welcome that. Your thoughts?
Well, sometimes when you have a staff completely built on, not your guys you call friends, but guys you've worked with together for so long, and it was all Bruce Arians' connections. When the golf cart is sitting there behind you at practice, maybe that gets into your head a little bit that you're still trying to impress Bruce Arians.
Sure.
When Arians, we all know Arians, he's going to sit there and say, "Listen, don't impress me. It's your team. If you scrapped every single assistant coach that I brought in here, I'm not going to judge you one way or the other. I truly believe that. I think Arians is there to help and truly loves Todd Bowles, and they love Byron Leftwich and everybody. But it's your team, and if you're going to let this go down, you can't let it go down. And there's a little bit of an edge to Todd Bowles, at least in Indianapolis this week. I really liked it. He did. he's still going to let Canales run the offense, but he's kept some key players, or excuse me, coaches on the staff, and I think Bowles, in his own mind, is not so concerned about the offense. He is pissed off at the defense, and not at how things turned out defensively. He talked about when you don't have an edge rusher leading in sacks, that's an issue. That's a look in his eye. He wants to fix that, and he's got to get through all of the business parts of this over the next couple of weeks before he can really put it on paper and see what he has. But the edge rush to me is going to be a draft priority if Todd Bowles has his say. And where the Bucks are, if they don't move up, if let's say they want to move up and get one of these elite quarterbacks, well, that might be out the window trying to get edge rushers. At least. Yeah. So
that's why they're not doing it.
Yeah, to your point, where maybe you drop back and get a second-round guy like that, the Hendon Hooker scenario you were mentioning, you could probably still keep that 19th pick and get an edge rusher that can get on the field. I also find it interesting that the assistant who came in from Dallas for the defensive line. Yeah, I'm curious to see when he gets his hands on Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, if this is a technique thing, if this is a will mind power thing, if it's a scheme thing, maybe he can get to the bottom of this and flip a switch, and a guy who I think can be very good at the NFL level. Maybe that's the change that's coming this year for the good.
Well, I've told Nick this, that Tryon's problem is he's too pretty. He's just he's like you, Lucas. He's just too handsome.
Do you know the story?
He's not a bad enough dude.
Dan, do you know the story of what this man did the day after Joe Tryon was drafted?
Intern Kayla did this, not me.
Do you know the story?
Don't tell me JP stalking his social media.
There you go.
I had my intern do that.
He had an intern. Once upon a time, there was another intern alongside me, and he had said intern stalk Joe Tryon on social media, and he came to the conclusion that he had too many pictures with his shirt off.
Wait, was that intern Casey?
No, Kayla, I think it was.
Intern Kayla.
Okay.
Kayla. He came to
Who
the
knows
conclusion,
something about shirtless Instagram pictures of men.
Exactly.
She's an expert in that, so I put her on the case. Right? I said, "What do you see from his Instagram?" She said, "Well, he's got a lot of shirtless pictures up there." And
good observation. Very good.
I swear to God, the next day after he was drafted, they were gone. Somebody at the box said, "Take them off your Instagram." I swear to God, I kid you not. And we were like, "Oh, we were just kind of having fun with it." And the next day, all those pictures were gone. Look, I mean, I look. He's a nice kid, but he's just a real handsome guy. Got the long hair working. He's cut. He just, I need a guy that's got some belly on him a little bit, who's got, 18-inch biceps. It's not, Reggie Whiting people throwing people out the club. Joe's just kind of if I'm picking a runway model, he's my dude. But if somebody coming off the edge, I need someone ugly that snarls and has stuff coming out of their nose. He ain't that guy.
Now, the big fear, the fear for me, I'll say the word fear is that Shaq Barrett doesn't come back, 100%. And I really hope, I'm not saying he's not going to come back 100%, because nowadays these injuries, like you're saying, these guys are absolutely amazing what they're able to do. But with Shaq Barrett out of the lineup, in the end, now that have hindsight, it was the undoing, really, of the pass rush. Everything was different. And then you had Akeem Hicks missing games, and so he and Vita Vea couldn't get that inside connection that's so awesome when they're together. But this might be a draft where that has to be addressed, and so that's Todd Bowles. Kind of wrap up the Todd Bowles edge I see in him.
Yeah,
that's what he's focusing on. And remember, I think they're losing some of these corners. They're going to lose at least probably Jamel Dean. Now you keep saying, now it's Zion McCollum's time. Well, that's easier said than done. This defense can be good, but it's on the brink of not being good if things don't go right.
I agree with you. Let's switch over to my favorite team, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Are you concerned right now? I mean, these are 4 terrible games that they have played in a row. I kind of chalk this up to the dog days. I just don't. All these teams they're playing are desperate to get into playoffs. The Bolts know who they're playing and have known for quite some time. They played a lot of big hockey games over the last few years, 8 years. I just think right now the desperation is on the other side, and they're just not matching it. And come playoff time, they will. Or do you see something more structurally deficient?
Well, I'm not a big fan right now of the play that's turning into odd man rushes and guys skating in on Vazzy. It's happened consistently now since the All-Star break, and those are things that John Cooper says are correctable with practice sessions, and they don't have an opportunity to practice the way the schedule is, and no one's boo-hooing the Lightning because a lot of teams are in that boat. But I'm already looking at how they match up with Toronto. So that's my big thing. And last year you could say before that series that maybe Toronto had the edge in that series, and it went 7 games, which that has the potential to go again this year. But if the mistakes and the selfish play where you're thinking offensively and not defensively, which is the opposite of John Cooper's culture, it could be Toronto in a short series. And it's unfortunate because it's 2 of the top teams in the Eastern Conference in the first round. No one wants to see either one of these teams out in the first round for the casual fan, but it's going to happen. At least you got to make it a series. Toronto has loaded up. They have loaded up just to beat the Lightning.
Yeah.
And so have the Panthers. Everybody is lining up to beat the Lightning.
Yeah.
And the Lightning are going up against 2, 3, 4 teams. Theoretically, when you look at the playoff scenarios, they're prepared to play the Lightning in a 7-game series. The Bolts have got to match that. Have you noticed over the past 3-4 years, these playoff series are getting more and more brutal?
Yeah.
That the Lightning are involved in. These teams are really coming after them. They went into that Stanley Cup final last year with on crutches pretty much.
Yeah, they really did. No, it's a great.
So I just feel like it's just going to continue as the team to beat. The Rangers, another one. So yeah, a lot of hungry teams. Pittsburgh still comes in tonight, red hot, still in the hungry department. So they got to match that. What happened Sunday in Pittsburgh was unacceptable.
And Saturday in Detroit, if not for, we got shot 37-11 in the first 2 periods by Detroit. I mean, if not for Vasi, they lose that game 12-1. And they just got to be better than that. And I think they will. The Domestikov gets shipped off for Michael Asimon, if I'm saying that correctly, according to the pronunciation guy. But they've got a little bit of cap room now. And so I'm like, Brisebois is looking around. Patrick Kane's rolling to the Rangers. Is he going to pull something out of his behind here and come up with some big name? And of course, they'd have to ship somebody big out in order to do that. So I'm a little on edge about that. But I'll tell you this: I trust Julien Brisebois. Everybody says too much every time, and those guys tend to being key cogs in a Stanley Cup win or a finals.
He's definitely earned all benefit of the doubt. It was curious to me last night to get another forward, and that defense was not addressed. However, you did shed some cap in that sense, so maybe he's setting the stage for something here at the true deadline, which is tomorrow. Remember, the Brandon Hagel and Nick Paul coming in together. Paul caught on very quickly. It took Hagel a while. And we're really 1 season later seeing the benefits of that Hagel trade. So sometimes the trades take longer to materialize and mesh. It's hard to ask a guy to come in and just flip a switch. I gave the Tanner Jeannot all the credit in the world. He flew in from Arizona, where the Predators were, skates in the morning for 15 minutes, and he goes, "All right, let's go." And I thought that was pretty. Pretty awesome. So I would think that he will have a little bit better game tonight now that he's been able to at least watch video with these guys and speak the language a little bit. And Asimont, I don't even know if he's here yet. So we're not going to see him tonight. I don't think so.
Yeah, and it's funny because that social media had a meltdown over the price for Tanner Jeannot. And like I said after the trade happened, I'm not going to argue with you. that the Lightning got fair value here. Obviously, they overpaid. Julian Brees even admitted that, but I think he looked at what happened last year too against Colorado, which was the fastest team in the league. The Lightning looked slow, and especially the fourth line, Maroon, Belmar, Perry, they looked slow. And they've looked even slower this year because they're all older. Pat Maroon's played in like 4 Stanley Cup finals in a row, right? And I feel like Nemesnikov was the odd man out. They had the new guy here from San Jose. I mean, you would agree, right, that these moves are all done just to get more speed in the bottom 6 because these other teams, like you mentioned, are all loading up to beat them.
I agree with you. I think generally the Western Conference teams are faster because they just play all over. It's like video game hockey. If you ever stay up and watch one of these games,
oh god,
Calgary
last night. Oh my god,
it's a freak show. I think what did the Lightning in last year was the injuries. It's an excuse for sure, but I think that's what did them in. Remember when they were swept by Columbus, and that will always be the barometer of what altered the franchise. They weren't physical. They revamped everything physically, and they've hit this formula to get all the way to the end. So I mean, to your point, Nick, I do agree with that they need to be faster, but I think that the guys that could compete with the Makars and all that type of lineup in Colorado in the final, I just think they were toast going into that series, and the fact they took it to 6 games. To me, I remember going to Denver for Game 5, and I walked into the arena that morning. I'm like, this is over. It's done. This has been a great run. It's over. And the Lightning went in there and just showed me something.
Yeah, they did.
So if they could have gotten over the hump in Game 6, I will never bet against the Lightning in a Game 7 on the road. That would have been awesome to get to that. But when Colorado won the Cup in 6 games, I thought that was the correct team won that series. So
Braden Point, it plays in that series. I think it's much
right.
No question about it. And to your point, not only was Braden Point hurt, he couldn't play, but there were 4 or 5 guys out there that were playing that probably wouldn't have been playing in the regular season. They were about 50%, with knee tears and everything else. So shoulders and, it was a mash unit out there. They still took it to 6 games and had 2 overtime games there. I mean, so yeah, I think the Lightning are fine. And I talked to Brian Enblom about this the other day on the Last Call show. I said, can you bring in too many players and disrupt what you got going on? I mean, look what Boston's doing. I mean, they're on a record pace, and they're trading out maybe 5 or 6 guys in their entire lineup. I mean, I said, at some point, is there a disruption in terms of team chemistry? And he said, absolutely. He goes, there's no question you can overdo this. And I don't care how big the names are that come in, where do they fit? Who's taking the shots? Who's on the power play? Who's on the penalty kill? There's egos involved in a lot of this different stuff, and people come in, and sometimes it doesn't fit like you think it's going to fit. So I'm not just saying this to make excuses because the Lightning don't have room to make these big moves, but I think continuity is an issue here for some of these other teams like Toronto.
Yeah, well, Toronto's made the big moves as well to try and get over the hump for them. Now, Toronto had a little stretch before the Lightning went into this little funk they're in, where they weren't playing very well. As a matter of fact, didn't the Lightning catch them and get into the number 2 spot in the division for a while? So, I think the Bolts come out of this, and I think they clean things up. But for me, John Cooper would never say it, but you've got to start watching Toronto film and getting ready for that first round because that's what's happening. It's inevitable. And once you get through that, if you can, now anything goes. And I know the Panthers games have been kind of lopsided recently. That doesn't concern me as much because they have a lot of history of the one year they beat them in, was it last year or the year before when they beat Florida? Florida had dominated them in the entire regular season.
Yeah, that was the 7-game sensational one in 2021. I mean, they won the series. Last year's was the sweep. That was it. I think it was last, and we were surprised at that. I was like, wow, I was really concerned about the Panthers. I mean, this team's really, really good. We haven't played well, and we're like, okay, 4, you're done. Bye-bye. And that's the thing. The Lightning, they're playoff ready, man. They're playoff mature, and that's why it's so hard for them to get up for these regular season games. I mean, they got to be looking at these games going, Okay, we'll go play, but we know who we're playing in the playoffs, and it's just hard. So we'll see.
I also one other thing, JP. I think that they need to really listen to Andre Vasilevsky and have honest discussions about his how he feels, how he's holding up. Vazzy, the competitor, obviously would play 365 days a year,
Right.
but you have got to now. I think with the fact that you have this cushion, you need to look at him and have a serious discussion and say, listen, we need to rotate you and Elliott some more here because you are going to get into a grind as well once we hit the Toronto series. So let's think big picture with Vazzy. All the awards and the numbers and all that may be belonging to other goaltenders this year, but when you have one game to win or go, it's Vazzy for me. I want him mentally right and I want him physically right. So hopefully that discussion is had at some point as well.
Agreed. All right, my friend. What's going on in your concert world, your pop culture world? Anything good?
Oh, man, I didn't get any Duran tickets. I know you guys were excited to think about that. I did look at the lineup, however, for the Strawberry Festival.
Right.
Great shows coming up. Wayne Newton is coming to the Strawberry Festival.
Wayne
right
Newton?
There, boy. Wayne Newton. And
he's still upright?
He's going to sing.
Wow.
Strawberries or something, but Willie Nelson is coming to the Strawberry Festival. You guys, I'm telling you, Nick, learn your lessons, young man. When certain people pass on to the afterlife, we honor them with these great obituaries and this and that and the other. And I want you to be able to say, Mom, Willie Nelson, damn. I saw that guy once at the Strawberry Festival.
Dan, I love my Strawberry Festival. I live in Lithia, so I love my Strawberry Festival. I've seen Willie Nelson there. I told 4 years ago I got to see 4 years ago I got to see Charlie Pride there when he was about 81 years old. And I'll be damned if he didn't sound like if he was like in his prime.
Wow.
So I love that kind of stuff.
The biggest regret I'll ever have, I never saw Tom Petty live. And I passed up two opportunities to go, one reason or the other, and I'll just get them next time. And I'm telling you, when you have a chance to see people, especially the legends, go. Don't pass it up.
Well, I've never seen Wayne Newton, but I might have to, you know
know what? It's
pack up the old Grand Wagoneer and head on over to see Wayne Newton. Absolutely, yeah.
I would put on a leisure suit for that and act like I'm in Vegas, but I'm in Plant City.
We went to, somebody gave us free tickets to go see Barry Manilow about a month ago, and I was like, at first I'm like, I'm not going to see that guy. And then we're like an hour later, we're like, oh, why not? We're not doing anything tonight. It's right. It's like half a mile away. We'll go down there. We'll laugh a little bit. It's all Barry Manilow. And that dude, he put on a Vegas show. Like, no, I'm sitting there going, this dude is like, he is
snapping your fingers. Snapping your fingers.
I know every word.
Singing Copacabana. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, this is fantastic. I love this guy. And he was self-deprecating. He still had that full hair. I don't know where he gets that wig, man, but that thing was poofed up like a poodle from just got groomed. Man, he was fantastic. So I you know what? These old guys, they still got it, and I'll go see Wayne Newton. Hell yeah.
Why not?
Strawberry shortcake. Come on. What's better than that? All right, Dano, good stuff. Thanks for the update there. I might have to go change our entertainment schedule. All right, the great Dan Lucas. You're watching him on News Channel 8 this weekend and always. All right, we'll take a quick break here. We'll come back. Brian Bradley's going to join us at 11:15. We'll talk a little bit more hockey with him and more of your comments and questions on the Bucks as well. Lots more to get to, including we got to talk a little Connor McDavid. We'll talk some Rays as well. The trades that are going on are just unbelievable in the NHL. So stay with us. Lots more to come. The PGA Tour Tour's Valspar Championship returns this March 16th to the 19th with 4 days of golf action plus the host of fun activities that make it Tampa Bay's hottest spring sports ticket. Sam Burns, who won in a thrilling playoff last year, is looking to make it 3 wins in a row on the Copperhead course at Innisbrook Resort. He will be challenged by a top field that includes Jordan Spieth, returning for the first time in 5 years. The 2015 Valspar champ counts 13 PGA Tour victories, including 3 majors in his career. It will be a great field and great fun. Tickets are on sale now at ValsparChampionship.com for all tournament days, both grounds tickets and premium ticket options. You don't want to miss the 2023 Valspar Championship. JP here for Italiano Insurance. If you've started a side hustle during COVID and the business has grown, well, you need business insurance, because if you get sued, you could lose all your personal wealth if you're not properly protected. That's right, your home, your savings, everything could go. So get protected now. Call the great agents at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799, and a real human will answer the phone and get you protected. If you haven't shopped your business insurance in a while, you could be overpaying by thousands. One customer had their golf buddy handling his business insurance, then called Italiano to shop it around, and they saved him $26,000 a year. Yeah, so call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Italiano Insurance, protecting all the pieces of your life for over 60 years. The boys are back. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship returns March 16th to the 19th with 4 days of incredible golf plus a host of activities that make it Tampa Bay's hottest spring sports ticket. There is more to the Valspar than just great golf. It's the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Snake Pit Club, accessible by premium tickets, and other great venues throughout the course for those with ground tickets. And new in 2023 is the Rooftop, a new prestigious venue at the 18th green with music, food, and fun. Plus, you never know who you're going to see at the Rooftop. Tickets are on sale now at ValsparChampionship.com for all tournament days, both grounds tickets and premium ticket options. You don't want to miss the 2023 Valspar Championship. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately, or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida. Hey, folks, it's still engagement season, and where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source. The Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country, a literal jewelry supercenter with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. You don't have to wait to spend any extra time waiting for them to bring something in. They have everything right there in-house, so why go anywhere else? And you can get up to 15% off this January if you buy something with the birthstone, which is garnet. Garnet and Gold, Florida State, get something for your favorite Seminole. And let's not forget the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Very affordable, real gold and diamond jewelry, always stylish and unique. Emily has created this fashion-forward gold, diamond, and gemstone jewelry line ideal for everyday wear. Each piece is designed to enhance your look by featuring eye-catching, modern, geometrical shapes. Really unique stuff. Got to check it out. And, of course, Julie and Steve Weintraub, local community, so let's keep it local. And you can get 0% financing for up to 5 years. Get a big ring for a little price. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back. The Valspar Championship coming up in a couple of weeks, folks. March 16th to the 19th at Innisbrook. Got to get your tickets now to all the great options that are out there. The rooftop is an added option now at 18. They're going to have celebrities and music. Colt Knost is going to be up there hosting, DJing, I guess. And I didn't know he could spin the 1 and 2s, but I guess he can. And Rondé is going to be up there. We got lots of special days. The Thursday is going to be the Rondé Appreciation Day. We're going to celebrate him going into the Hall of Fame. A big ceremony after play on Thursday. Friday, St. Patty's Day. Wear green and enjoy the green beer. Saturday is, of course, Darius Rucker. You get the free concert with your ticket. And Sunday is, of course, the final round where Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth and Sam Burns and the great field will be coming down the final holes there, going through the snake pit. Man, this is going to be fun. So head on over to valsparchampionship.com to get your tickets right now. They're going to sell out. So get them, be part of the fun and frivolity, and get on out there. Because the boys are over at Bay Hill this week, over in Orlando. So that'll be fun to watch that. It's really, really good field this week.
Yeah, but don't go to that tournament.
No.
Go to the Valspar.
Go to the Valspar. It's right in your own backyard. Plus, Bay Hill is really hard to get to. Traffic in and out is a nightmare. Parking is a nightmare. You don't need all that. Just wait for the boys to come here. And the Grand Prix is this weekend as well. Haven't really been up on that. That's a great event in St. Pete. It really is. From a sporting standpoint, I really have a hard time getting into it because the racing is so single file. It's really hard to pass.
It's Formula One or is it Indy?
It's Indy.
It's Indy?
Yeah, it's IndyCar. And, it's kind of a Formula One look to it, obviously, with the Grand Prix and the setup. It's a beautiful event, and it's amazing. And if you love cars, you can get up close, and they do such a great job with it. I just have a hard time getting into it as a sporting event. It's hard. It's a spectacle. It's fantastic.
I think races in general, it's not easy to make it like a sporting event that you have to be at.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Yeah. I mean, it's a social event, and it's awesome, but it just seems like there's two or three places to pass on that course. And if you don't get that, it's a lot of single file, racing going around. Beautiful, beautiful event, but that's always been my issue with that event. And but if you're into racing, it is awesome. It is awesome, and you can really get up close and talk to the drivers, and the pit passes are really, really cool. So it'll be fun this weekend, no doubt about it. All right, Jalen Carter was booked yesterday into the Athens County, Clark County Jail. Was released on his own recognizance. Arraignment date is set for April 18th. He is facing misdemeanor charges of reckless driving and racing in connection with the fatal crash that killed one of his teammates, Devin Willock, and a recruiting staffer, Chandler LaCroix. Police are saying they have video of him racing with his teammates and being up close to it. The police say that he lied to them about his proximity to the racing, and obviously they have videos of this all over town because they were racing through the middle of Athens. According to the police, both vehicles switched between lanes, drove in the center turn lane, drove in opposite lanes of travel, overtook other motorists, drove at high rates of speed in an apparent attempt to outdistance each other. So that's the stuff they have on video. Now, Jalen Carter put a statement out. I'm trying to find that statement. Do you have that handy? Because the statement is in direct conflict to what is on video. I'm trying to find this.
I had the statement here.
Okay, go ahead, read that.
He said, this morning I received a telephone call from the Athens, Georgia Police Department informing me that 2 misdemeanor warrants have been issued against me for reckless driving and racing. Numerous media reports also have circulated this morning containing inaccurate information concerning the tragic events of January 15th, 2023. It is my intention to return to Athens to answer the misdemeanor charges against me and to make certain that the complete and accurate truth is presented. There is no question in my mind that when all of the facts are known that I will be fully exonerated of any criminal wrongdoing.
Well, I don't, listen, I'm not one to read a police statement and take it as fact because obviously they're arresting and the arresting officers and the prosecutors want to make it look as damning as possible. I get all that, but this is on video. This is all going to be on video. And I don't think the police would make those charges based on video surveillance if they didn't have the video. And what he is describing, that he's going to be cleared of those charges. If he was, first of all, did he or did he not leave the scene of the accident? That's
a big question.
That's a question I have. Was he there? Because evidently, from some of the testimony I saw, they said that when the police finally talked to him, they said that he wasn't in close contact with them, and the video showed otherwise. So that's weird. And this thing is obviously not going to be adjudicated before the draft.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what happens now because he's back at the combine. It says he's going to go through with his interviews and the measurements and all that. The interviews, obviously, that's the one-on-one stuff or with the teams and everything.
Yeah,
which he had already been doing before this. Do they put him back up on the podium? Like he was scheduled in front of 100-something reporters?
I don't think so. I mean, they can ask him to do it. He doesn't have to do it. He's not contractually obligated to do it. It's just this is what, they give him the opportunity to do it. And, obviously you want to have your profile out there and be in the news, except then you have situations like this. So I would be shocked.
Is there any part of you that's curious to see how he answers the questions?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Judging from that statement, he seems somewhat defiant against what is pretty obvious evidence video-wise, unless the police are just lying. We haven't seen the video. I mean, I'm sure they're going to release the video at some point. They should. Maybe they won't because they've been asked not to. I mean, we never saw the Bob Kraft video. So
we don't ever see the videos.
Yeah. So that's weird. So I don't know. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will chat with Brian Bradley and talk some Lightning hockey and what's going on with the Bolts, this funk that they are in. We're brought to you by the Bay Area Modern Medical Center and the Jeeves Law Group. Back at 3.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes, so call the folks at
Marius Rucker with a free 90-minute show after the conclusion of play. And on Sunday, we're going to crown a champion. You don't want to miss it. Everybody will be there. Tickets on sale now at valsparchampionship.com for all tournament days, both grounds and premium ticket options. You don't want to miss it. The 2023 Valspar Championship.
Hey guys, it's a new year, so are you looking for a new you to lose weight, lean up? There are many diets and chiropractors and weight loss clinics out there, but you know where to start? Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo, PA, and his professional staff will devise a personal plan for you that gets results and help you keep the weight off. Everybody metabolizes food and supplements differently, and many of these other approaches are designed for the masses, the quick weight loss, but it doesn't stay off, right? Chris will spend one-on-one time with you to find out what works best for you, so the weight comes off safely without use of drugs that only work temporarily. So call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. And Chris will join us each Monday at 11:45 to talk about your wellness and the significant injuries to athletes in the sports world. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We got the Pens coming in tonight. Never forget, one of the greatest to ever do it, Sidney Crosby, leading the Pens in goals with 27, and he's out on the ice right now at Amalie Arena as the Pens go through their morning skate. And our man Brian Bradley, correspondent on the scene, former Lightning All-Star, joins us now. What's up, Bradley? How are you, my friend?
What's up, JP? How are you doing today?
Good. You out there watching Sid the Kid and Malkin and Letang and the boys get all revved up for tonight?
Yeah, they're just going to go on here in about 10 minutes. I think Chris Carter's on the ice now. That's dad's trip for the Penguin dads.
Oh, cool.
So I think they were in Nashville the other day. I think they won 3-2 or 3-1. And then, like I said, they'll be playing tonight against us. And, it's a big game. I mean, it's a big game for both teams. And we'll just talk about, Pittsburgh, they're in the last playoff spot right now. They got 69 points and, Buffalo's a couple points behind them, but so they're in the last wild card. So this is a big game for them. They've got to put some wins together to stay in the playoffs. And obviously for us, the game against Florida, we didn't play well. And then Pittsburgh last week, we got beat 7-2, and we did not look good. And even the game against Detroit, where Vazzy stopped like 48 shots, we won 2 or 3-0. We didn't play well in that game either. So I really think, the last 3 or 4 games, we've been very average as a team. I mean, lucky Vazzy played good, but overall, it's not even close to where we should be playing. I mean, the trade deadline's been hot and crazy this year with the Rangers on fire. The Boston Bruins are going crazy. Everybody's in it to win it right now.
Well, the Lightning have made a couple of moves. Tanner Jeannot comes over from Nashville, bringing some of that sandpaper that maybe the Lightning are missing a little bit. They've been a little bit too easy to play against, in my opinion, and some others' opinions. And they get Asimont from San Jose. So, and I think that may be setting up another move. What do you think of the additions, and why do you think Brisebois went out and get these particular players?
Well, I can understand Tanner Jeannot. I mean, he's a guy. He can fight. He can play. He's got some grit. Good on our third line. He scored 24 goals last year. He doesn't have a lot this year, but you can always pick up a little pieces that like in terms of toughness and stuff like that. I think we're really trying to maybe set ourselves up for another trade. I'm not sure about the Nemestikov trade with Mickey Esamont. I mean, my question mark on that one is, Vladdy's played 200, 300, 400 games in the NHL. He's had some good numbers over time. This is a young kid. He's only played 43 games, I think, in the NHL. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he really hasn't proven himself at all. So I'm not sure if we're setting ourselves up for another trade or something like that. But, I mean, it's been crazy to see what happened here. So, I mean, the Lightning got to get back on track. They got to start winning games and start playing Lightning hockey and playing for 3 periods, Yeah. I think that's been a problem. We've been, against Florida, we maybe played 1 good period, but, when you're down 3-4-0 in the first period, I mean, that's not a good start. I mean, you know what? Every game's tough because everybody's fighting for everybody. You know what? We play tonight, and then we go to Buffalo for a makeup game on Saturday, and they're right in the hunt right now. Then we got Carolina. To me, I'm going to say this. Carolina, to me, I think they're the toughest team in the Eastern Conference.
Really?
You can talk about Boston, the Rangers, the Devils, but Carolina is very tough. Rod Brindamore, they play fast. They play hard. They forecheck. They're a really good team. So, you know what? And the Bruins, let's be honest, the Bruins made another trade for Tyler Bertuzzi. They just signed Pasternak to an 8-year, $11.5 million deal or something like that. So, the Boston Bruins are loading their team up. They've got Orlov. I mean, they've got a really top-end team now. And, our arch rivals now, Toronto, they made a lot of trades. The Maple Leafs made 5 or 6 trades, but the big one is Ryan O'Reilly, the captain of the St. Louis Blues, coming over. That's going to be a big factor in the playoffs, especially in the first round against us.
And, I was talking with Embaum the other night on our post-game show and asked him if a team, especially a team that's playing as well as Boston and Toronto and the Rangers, these teams were really, really good. And now they've made a lot of changes. I mean, the Rangers bring in Patrick Kane. These are big-time players with egos, with roles to fill. Obviously the talent is you want the talent on your team, but this late in the season in the process, can that kind of mix up your chemistry a little bit, especially for these teams that are playing so well? Could that be a negative in this situation?
Oh, for sure it could be. You know what? You're surprised. I mean, look at the Boston Bruins. I mean, you know what? Their record's 47-8.
I know.
They got like 99 points or something like that, and they've made 5 trades.
Right. For
a team that's only lost 8 games. I mean, they got Orlov, they've got Hathaway. They made another defensive move. Then they just did Tyler Bertuzzi. I mean, you're bringing in guys. Well, somebody's got to go out.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you bring in guys and you're not trading assets away, so like Tyler Bertuzzi comes in. I mean, you know what? They bring these other guys in for draft picks. So they've got 3 or 4 guys that are in their lineup right now that weren't in the, 47 wins and 8 losses right now. So there's guys that are getting sent down to the minors that have been all year, and they're probably pissed off because I would be too. I mean, here I played the whole year in Boston, and now I'm not going to play because they're loading up. So sometimes, listen, it's not going to work for every team. The Rangers got Patrick Kane. I mean, he's a game breaker. He's won 3 Stanley Cups. Right. So, you know what? He's a difference maker. But, you got to think in the first round, the Rangers are playing the Devils. That's going to be a great series potentially. Someone's going out. We play the Leafs. Someone's going out. Boston's going to play someone next. Someone's going out. Not everybody's going to get to – 8 teams don't make the Stanley Cup Finals right now. So there's going to be a lot of teams that sold the farm that are not going to go through.
Well, in Boston's case, though, and I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but they put Taylor Hall on the LTIR, which we'll see if the outrage is there like it was when the Lightning put Kucherov there. We'll see on that one. They also put Nick Foligno on injured reserve, so that's 2 big pieces in their top 9. So is that from their sake getting Hathaway and bringing Bertuzzi? That's just replacing those guys to make it through the regular season. And then obviously you have them for the playoffs as well.
Yeah, you have those guys. I watched. He got hit the other night. Foligno got hit. So they've had some injuries. Taylor Hall, but those guys will be back. I mean, there's still 20 games left in the season. So at the end of the day, they got to make room right now for guys that are coming back because you can't dress 24 guys. You can dress 18 skaters and 2 goalies. So you have to have any combination that you think can do it to win. But at the end of the day, the Bruins got a stacked team. They've got a lot of good teams there and stuff like that with players. So, I mean, and look at the Rangers right now. They're going to be loaded, I mean, they picked up Tarasenko. What did Tarasenko? Had 2 goals and an assist, 3-point night last night against Philly. And now they got Patty Kane. Could you imagine Madison Square Garden tonight? They're playing Ottawa. You know what? And it's going to be a crazy madhouse in New York. And Patrick Kane's first game there, it's going to be wild to see what happens there.
Ooh, and the Lightning go up to Madison Square Garden, I believe, and I think their next road trip. So that will be interesting as well. And this schedule doesn't get any easier for the Lightning. Again, of course, tonight Pittsburgh comes in, a team that beat them 7-2 in a 5-minute flurry the other night. Took a 2-1 game and turned it into a disaster for the Lightning. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the Lightning want to come out and rectify that situation. Pittsburgh has not been all that great this year, so that makes this game just even more important, right, Braz? We need to see the Lightning match the desperation of the Penguins tonight and come out and play a game. It's about the process, right? I just want to see a game where they're not leaving, Sid Crosby wide open in front of the net against Vassy and, Malkin's, picking him off in the power play. They just need to play a good, solid game and cover up and just do not allow so many easy chances for the other team. That's what I'd like to see tonight. What about you?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Anytime you talk about Pittsburgh, you talk about Sidney Crosby and Malkin. Those guys can play. They've got Getzlaff, not Getzlaff, but Gensel, he's a pure scorer. So they've got 3 or 4 guys, Letang on defense, but their goaltending has been very average. I mean, they have, DeWitt Smith and the other Jari. They're just okay goalies, in my opinion. I think their Achilles heels in net. They don't have top-end goaltending to compete, and that's what shows. Anytime they get into trouble, their goaltending lets them down. I mean, and we haven't played well. We've got to come out with a strong game tonight because Pittsburgh's fighting for their playoffs right now. They're going to come out strong. They won the other night in Nashville. They're playing well. I think they lost a few games, but like we talked about, they have 69 points right now, and they're only 3 points up on Buffalo, which teams are playing tonight. A win and a loss, you're only 1 point behind. So these games matter more than what they do for us. So we got to be ready to go. And like I said, we have not played. We've lost 2 in a row now, and I don't think we've lost 3 in a row the whole season.
No.
So the Penguins are on the ice right now, and they're just starting to fire up the pucks and do all that stuff for the morning skate.
There you go. And all the dads are there as well. So I'm sure they're having a good old time. So the dads chose Nashville and Tampa as the two places to go. That's a lot of golf involved there. Maybe a few trips to Dale Mabry. I don't know, but the dads are definitely picked 2 of the greatest cities to enjoy themselves. No question about it, right, Brads?
Yeah, and I think Pittsburgh. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they go to Florida on Saturday, so that's another big game.
Dang.
I mean, playing the Panthers. The Panthers are not in the playoffs right now, so that's a huge game on Saturday too.
Yeah.
In Florida, and Florida's only 3 points behind them. So these are massive games. Like you can talk about, hey, the Lightning are playing tonight. We're playing Sid the Kid, and we're playing Malkin, and we're playing all these guys. Well, this is a playoff game. The Penguins cannot. They need points, or they're going to be out of the playoffs. So they're going to be ready to go. Now we need to step our game up and start getting ready for playoffs with 20 games to go. Because you know what? We haven't did that lately. And it's not just one guy. It's the whole team. I think it starts with Stamkos and Hedman, Kucherov, Point. I mean, all our guys got to be ready to go, Vazzy and Net. Everybody's got to be better. I think we're playing okay, but okay is not good enough right now in the league.
Agreed.
I just want to ask you like a general hockey question outside of the Lightning. Connor McDavid, we saw last night. He's, 5 games in a row with multi-goals. There's only 5 guys in NHL history have even done that. I'm surprised that Gretzky's not even on that list. And he's got 50. Yeah. He's got 52 goals now. I think he's got 50 or 52 now.
52.
I think he's going to get to 70. Do you just continue to marvel, I guess, at how easy because this is a hard game to play. And as you know, how easy he just continues to make it in this era.
He's just amazing to watch, His just speed and the way he plays with pace. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like I've never seen a player that can skate that fast and do that many moves with the puck at a top speed, which most guys can't even skate. It's amazing to watch. And you know what? When you play against him, like I said this before, when you played against Mario Lemieux or Wayne Gretzky, they're in a different level. It's like Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Hey, there you have your, Forsberg, your Sakic's, your Yzermans, all these Mark Messier's, they're all great players and Hall of Fame players, but there's a different level to Wayne Gretzky's game than those guys. And same as Mario Lemieux. They put points on the board like no one else. And same as Connor McDavid. He gets on the ice, your team makes one little mistake where you make a bad pass in the neutral zone, they pick it off and he's gone.
Yep.
And you cannot defend it. He's got so much speed, and he makes the teams look sick. He makes you look bad.
Yeah.
He's coming in on you, and you have no idea what's going on right now. And you know what? It's in your net. It's game over. So you know what? He's just a special player. Like I said, I was fortunate to play against Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky, but he's the same way. Connor McDavid is a once in a lifetime kind of player.
Indeed, he is. All right, partner, good stuff as always. Go enjoy the morning skate there, and we'll see you tonight at Amalie Arena. Thanks, buddy.
You betcha. See you tonight, JP. Go Bolts. We need a big game.
Yeah, we do. We need to right the ship tonight. This is, it's as Cooper said the other night. It's alarm bells are going off, but we're not in complete panic just yet.
Yeah. And what is it with this team, though, Pittsburgh, that they have on the Lightning? Because I went to 2 games last year, I recall, at home, both against Pittsburgh. and the Lightning got blown out of the water. Opening night, and then there was a game later in the season.
Opening night was
it was a 6-2 last year.
And that was a banner raising.
That was a banner raising, so that happened then. I went to another game later that season, happened to be against Pittsburgh. Same thing happened, and now it's happened twice already this year. This team has got something on the Lightning at some point.
It's true.
And it's like Brian said, it's like we're going up against the greatest defense in the world here.
No.
I mean, their defense and their goaltending is why they're having to fight for a playoff spot right now.
I don't know. It's a good question because they're not that great a team.
No.
When you look at the two records the last couple of years, but they definitely have the little mojo.
They match up well or something. I don't know.
Oh, well, tonight's a good night.
It's going to be hostile tonight.
Yeah, hopefully.
I recall that last year, both nights, that there was a lot of Penguins fans in the building.
Well, there'll be a lot of Penguins fans, and Tanner Jeannot is going to want to make his mark. And the Lightning, look, they need to be tougher to play against, and some of these other guys need to step up and get a little physical. And tonight's a good night to do it. And I'm not saying just be physical to be physical, but they just have to be tougher to play against and just be more aware in their own zone more than anything. Good God. All right, quick break. When we come back, we'll do a Rays update. They're getting ready to start their game against the Minnesota Twins. We'll have the lineup for you. Check in with the Rays, how they're doing this spring. And we got our new prized high dollar free agent on the mound today. Can't wait to see this $350 million man on the mound tonight. Today. Back in 3. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you. Hey, folks, it's still engagement season, and where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source. The Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country, a literal jewelry supercenter with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. You don't have to wait to spend any extra time waiting for them to bring something in. They have everything right there in-house, so why go anywhere else? And you can get up to 15% off this January if you buy something with the birthstone, which is garnet. Garnet and gold, Florida State, get something for your favorite Seminole. And let's not forget the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Very affordable, real gold and diamond jewelry, always stylish and unique. Emily has created this fashion-forward gold, diamond, and gemstone jewelry line ideal for everyday wear. Each piece is designed to enhance your look by featuring eye-catching, modern geometrical shapes. Really unique stuff. Got to check it out. And, of course, Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors here in the local community. So let's keep it local. And you can get 0% financing for up to 5 years. Get a big ring for a little price. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey guys, it's a new year, so are you looking for a new you to lose weight, lean up? There are many diets and chiropractors and weight loss clinics out there, but you know where to start? Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo, PA, and his professional staff will devise a personal plan for you that gets results and help you keep the weight off. Everybody metabolizes food and supplements differently, and many of these other approaches are designed for the masses, the quick weight loss, but it doesn't stay off, right? Chris will spend one-on-one time with you to find out what works best for you, so the weight comes off safely without use of drugs that only work temporarily. So call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. And Chris will join us each Monday at 11:45 to talk about your wellness and the significant injuries to athletes in the sports world. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident or had your car totaled and you don't think you got what you deserved in a settlement, you may have a case. Find out. Call the Jeeves Law Group and see if you have a case. Free call. Contact them through the website, jeeveslawgroup.com, JEEVES lawgroup.com. All right, the Rays are back at home in terms of the Trop. Spring training inside at the Trop. Blech. Blech.
I wanted to go today, man. If I would have planned better, I would be going there right after the show. Because we're just like 15 minutes away.
Well, I mean, why don't you just go?
Better.
Why don't you
I don't have my Rays gear on.
No?
I don't have my Rays gear on.
What?
I didn't plan to go with anybody. I'm not going there by myself.
Okay.
I'm not that guy. Nope.
All right. You can, get a couple folks, just meet a stranger, or sit there, talk a little ball, bitch about the pitch clock.
Well, maybe I'll go to the game on Saturday when I'm also off because they play against the Yankees.
Okay.
A little bit closer drive then, and Todd Bradley's on the mound, so maybe I'll go to that game.
Okay. They got the Twins today at the Trop, 1 o'clock. And let's see, we got the lineup here. Yeah. Manuel Margot will be leading off. Wander Franco will be hitting second, playing shortstop. Rosarena in left, hitting third. Luke Raley is your cleanup guy.
Been mashing it,
Yeah.
if I'm being completely honest, so far in spring training.
He's the big left-handed bat that we've been looking for. He was right there all along.
Listen,
No.
I hope that we're wrong.
Spring training.
I want to be wrong.
I think we've seen enough Major League.
We haven't seen a lot of Major League. In fairness, we haven't seen a lot of Major League action with Luke Raley.
All right, so Ramirez will be in the 5-hole. Mejia will be catching. Actually, he'll be DHing today and hitting in the 6-hole. Culberson in the 7-hole. Robertson, who has returned. Very interesting situation. He'll be playing second base. Pinto will be catching today. And Zach Eflin, your $40 million man. I was mistaken. I thought he was $350 million. That was another pitcher. He's our highest paid free agent ever in history at $40 million for 3 years. For 3 years, yeah. Total deal being the highest ever. So he will be on the mound for the first time at Tropicana Field. Some other guys that have kind of made the trip that you might see. Aranda is available today. Meade is available today. Gamble is available today. So I'll be honest with you, I haven't been following a lot of what they've been doing. I know they trashed the Orioles 14-2 and the Yankees. They beat the Braves yesterday?
It ended in a tie. The good thing yesterday was Josh Lowe was hitting leadoff, and he hit a home run.
Attaboy.
And his new swing, it looked a lot better.
Yeah?
The swing looked a lot better. You could tell that he's been working on something, simplifying it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the good things. And, again, I'm keeping my eye on him, and I'm keeping my eye on Luke Raley because that's what the organization is telling me that they have to put their faith into right now is the bounce back of Josh Lowe.
Right.
And Luke Raley kind of finding his footing in the major leagues because every time he goes to AAA, he's matching it.
Right.
So at least those two things are off to a good start so far. But it's just spring training.
Yep.
With that being said, but I don't know. The Rays hit a lot of home runs to start spring training.
That's good. That's good. Guys get locked in. It doesn't matter who you're hitting off of, really. Just get confident in the box. That carries a long way towards being confident when the real season starts. And, maybe I guess it's a little bit of a plus that some of the maybe the new guys like Eflin will get used to Tropicana Field in the spring. But just the whole idea of, the weather the way it is right now, going inside to watch a baseball game, terrible. This is the best. I don't know why they just didn't play games at Disney. Maybe it's scheduling. I don't know. Or maybe it's money because they could play for free at the Trop. They can make more money. So, I don't know. Not a good solution.
They're making it easier on your fans. How about that? Making it easier on your fans.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah.
I'm going to be positive.
Of those who wanted to come in and inside and watch the game, but I guess.
Listen, it's hot up there.
Yeah, $10 tickets, $10 to $50 tickets. I think you have to park on the 16th Street side, not the usual rotunda, the big parking lot, but come in the other way. And anyway, go see some Rays baseball. And hopefully Zach Eflin will get off to a nice start today. If you missed it earlier in the week, Tyler Glass now obviously going to be out 6 to 8 weeks for the oblique issue, and maybe that works out for him in the long run, and they don't have to load manage him at the end of the season because he's going to probably miss the first month of the season anyway.
Well, I think Kevin Cash said that it's going to make it easier on him, at least when he comes back, that he doesn't have to deal with Glasnow arguing with him about being taken out of the game early.
Right, there you go.
So it's going to be easier on Kevin Cash to make those decisions. So.
And McClanahan pitched yesterday and pitched well, pitched 2 scoreless innings, said he was getting used to the pitch clock, so that's good.
What is this, Richie? He said, ha, you can't even say that with a straight face, Nick.
What's that?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about here?
What?
I only say facts.
About what?
I thought I had a straight face. I don't know what I said. Richie, please fill me in. What did I say? Or not say with a straight face?
Maybe something about the Glass now?
I think he thinks that I'm trying to convince myself. All this positivity with the Rays.
Yeah.
I think he thinks I'm trying to convince myself to it, and it's not coming off as genuine. That I can't say it with a straight face.
No, he's genuine. Just like last year, he gets sucked into, we're going after Freddie Freeman. We're going after Baldy's left-handed.
Right, there it is. Rays playing in the Trop for the fans.
For the fan, right, yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, that's what we wanted to do. We're going to spend more money to set up the Trop, and no. That's what spring baseball's all about, getting outside. Well, you can go see the Yankees, go see them when they play in Clearwater. Not sure when that is, maybe in Dunedin. So many great ballparks around for spring baseball. I will definitely catch a couple games over at the Yankees at that ball. That's got to be like the best spring ballpark around.
Well, I just told you. I think I might go Saturday.
Yeah. Where's Saturday? At the
Saturday? No, Saturday they're playing the Yankees at Steinbrenner.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
Todd Bradley's on the mound.
Oh.
So I have a lure to go there.
I may have a Saturday open now. I might delve into that myself. That's a good one. Yeah, the Rays and Yankees outdoors Saturday at you know what?
With the number 1 prospect on the mound.
With Todd Bradley.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
If I couldn't go today to see Zach Eflin, which I was curious to see, I'll go see Todd.
Do I do that over the St. Pete Grand Prix?
Oh, come on. You're going to go to the St. Pete Grand Prix over that?
It's a fun time.
I'm not an IndyCar guy.
Time.
I'm not an IndyCar guy, so.
Yeah, more for not because it's not the real race isn't until Sunday, the big race.
Oh, so what's Saturday?
Saturday's all the prelim races, but you get the whole vibe of the thing. It's still all the parties and stuff going through get to go see the cars and the whole vibe of it, which is nice. Yeah, there's a lot to do on these spring Saturdays and Sundays here.
I'm gonna go support my favorite team in the Bay Area. I'm gonna do that.
That's good. The Yankees. I guess that's who you're giving your money to.
So rude, man.
Yeah.
They're so rude. I gave the Rays some of my money yesterday. Actually,
you did.
I spent a lot of money on merchandise. I splurged.
Merched?
On merch.
You merched? What'd you get?
I splurged. I had to get new gear for this season, and I bought a hat yesterday. I spent way too much money on a hat.
How much did you spend on a hat?
Plus shipping and handling, I spent $56 on a Rays hat yesterday.
What?
$56 on a hat yesterday.
Why would you do that? Money bags.
Well, I was just bored, and I was, going through all the new merch.
I know you didn't tell Casey.
It's a merch fiend. Oh, I told her. I knew I had to tell her. She's going to see it at some point.
She was.
Listen, we got like 9 days to the wedding. I had to be honest. It's honesty season.
That is a good
policy.
So
I said it. I was like, if she gets mad, then I'll counter with all the other things that she's bought that don't make any sense to me. But anyway,
I wouldn't do that either.
$56 for a hat. It's outrageous.
$56 for a hat.
It's a fitted hat, and the only size.
My cutoff is $25.
For a hat?
For a hat.
Where
That's my cutoff.
Where are you going? TJ Maxx?
You can get
Marshalls? Where are you going?
You can
$25
get great hats.
hats?
You can get great hats at TJ Maxx. What's wrong with getting a
I
hat
don't
at
remember the
TJ
last
Maxx?
time I spent $25 on a hat.
What's wrong with getting a hat at TJ Maxx? I got a hat. I got a hat at Walmart for $10, a Rays hat.
I was gonna say, is it that one on your head right there?
I forgot which one. No, it's a Lightning hat I'm wearing. No, the one I got was the one I wear all the time. The tricolor one, kind of a trucker's hat look to it. Yeah, $10.
Yeah, I'm a hat collector. I got a lot of hats.
You've spent $56 for a hat.
Okay, well, I really wanted.
God,
you really want? I really wanted the hat.
That's way out. Why is it a new style?
It's a new style hat, and it was only on Fanatics. Like I looked everywhere, and it was only on Fanatics. And I hate ordering stuff from Fanatics, but I did it anyway because it's a fitted hat, and in my size, it said only one left. It got me. It got me. It said only one left, and it got me. $56 down the drain.
What an easy mark you are. My God.
I'm a mark for that.
First of all, a Rays hat for $50. Are you kidding me? One of the absolute rules of the Peterson clan is always we do not pay retail. We never pay retail for anything. There's always a better way. You can always find a promo code, find a discount of some type. You do not pay retail. Nobody pays retail with shipping and handling.
Oh, I did.
What are we doing here?
I did.
That's just wow. Disappointed in you. You need to be better than that. $56 for a hat.
And that's why I can't go to the Rays game today because I don't have the hat yet. The hat comes tomorrow.
You can't go to the Rays game because you don't have your hat yet.
I don't have my special hat yet. This hat is going to be – in fact, I'm going to wear this hat on Monday. This hat's going to be special.
All right. We have one more break, right? We got to get to?
Yeah, you're cutting me off.
Get one more break. I just have to really – I got to just process all of this. It's just very hard for me to get to here. All right, when we come back, we'll wrap things up. Our Twitter poll from yesterday, we have the results for that. So we got to get into that real quick, too. So stay with us. Quick break.
Hey guys, it's a new year, so are you looking for a new you to lose weight, lean up? There are many diets and chiropractors and weight loss clinics out there, but you know where to start? Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo, PA, and his professional staff will devise a personal plan for you that gets results and help you keep the weight off. Everybody metabolizes food and supplements differently, and many of these other approaches are designed for the masses, the quick weight loss, but it doesn't stay off, right? Chris will spend one-on-one time with you to find out what works best for you so the weight comes off safely without use of drugs that only work temporarily. So call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. And Chris will join us each Monday at 11:45 to talk about your wellness and the significant injuries to athletes in the sports world. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. Head on over there if you're thinking about getting engaged. You need a birthday gift, special occasion coming up. Obviously, they are the best. They have the largest selection. Just incredible place to get watches, guys. If you're into those baller watches, they have a tremendous selection there, used and new. And they can, if you're a collector of Rolexes or watches, they can find whatever you want. They've got great partners that they work with. So have a conversation about that if that's what you're looking for. So many things. And if you have some jewelry that you don't want anymore, you want to trade it in, get the best price, they'll do that too. So many things to do over at the Golden Diamond Source. Check them out, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Big news in sports last night was the debut of Kevin Durant for the Phoenix Suns. Played very, very well. I think he scored, 25 points?
20. I think he scored 27 in 23 minutes.
Yeah,
like
not too shabby. Had the mid-range jumper. Everything was working for him. I mean, the Suns have to be the team to beat now in the West. I would think in the NBA.
Wrong.
No? Well, the Bucks have won, 17 in a row
They've
now?
won 16 in a row, and they've averaged 127 points over that span. The only two teams in NBA history that have done that are one of those original Bucks teams and the Lakers, and both those teams won the titles.
Yeah.
There's your fun fact of the day.
Well, they're playing pretty well, so what you're saying.
Yeah, they beat up on my Magic last night.
They whooped that ass.
Not even fair.
Yeah.
Not even a fair comparison.
No, it's not a fair fight.
But I don't think Phoenix is the favorite in the West. And by the way, I have to mention this. I've been watching more NBA the last 2 weeks than I have
You think the Grizz
all
are?
year. Not the Grizzlies.
John Moran.
Not
I was
the Nuggets.
watching him the other night. That guy I'll watch play basketball.
He's a good watch.
Phenomenal.
He's a good
Holy
watch.
Hell.
I got two teams for you in the West.
Okay.
Number one is the Clippers. I tell you what, this Russell Westbrook thing and with the Clippers, it works. And they're deep. They are deep. The Clippers got the deepest roster in the West.
Russell Westbrook works.
It works.
No.
I don't know why, but it does. They got the deepest roster in the West.
Somehow, some way, he will find a way to tear that team
we'll
apart.
see.
We'll
see. He's got doesn't have a lot of time to do it. I think that's blown out of proportion with Russell. I think he's a good dude. He gets a really bad rap, in my opinion.
Listen, I don't think you can play as selfish as he plays.
But he doesn't play like that anymore.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched.
He took a bench role with the Lakers.
I haven't watched him in a while, but at the last time I saw him, his iteration, and it just again taking bad shots when he doesn't need to take bad shots when he's got better players on his team.
Yeah, he's got some of that in him still, but
yeah.
I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time.
Oh, he
is. And I don't feel like he gets treated like that enough.
He is. I used to love. I love the way he played. Look, and the reckless abandon, and nobody went to the hole harder than him. Three games with the Clippers so far. Right.
17 points, 17 and 14. The most he shot was 13 times, and he's been 50% from the field in the 3 games. And he's still distributing 28 assists in those 3 games. I'm telling you, since he's been in LA, it feels like it works a little bit. Better than it did with the Lakers. And the other team that I'm not going to give up on ever is the Golden State Warriors, because guess what? They're the 5 seed now in the West, quietly, heating up without Steph Curry and without Wiggins in the lineup.
They
get those 2 guys back. Jordan Poole is averaging, I think, 26 points per game in the games that Curry does not play this year. So he's a star. Clay's playing a lot better as well. Draymond's doing Draymond. That team, to me, is still the team to beat in the West.
Okay.
Battle-tested.
All right. And LeBron looks like he's out for the foreseeable future. I don't think the Lakers have any shot at doing anything. Because they actually, they showed a glimpse there when they had that big comeback the other night when he got hurt against, was it Dallas?
Yeah.
But KD and Booker, this is just the beginning for them. I think they're going to be hard to beat.
They're going to be hard to beat, no doubt about it. The West is as competitive as I think I've seen the NBA, though. Honestly, with the West. Hey, let's get to our results from the poll. By the way, we did the poll yesterday. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your excitement level for Kyle Trask being the Bucks quarterback in 2023?
Mm-hmm.
The winner in a landslide was a 4, skeptical. 53.5% are skeptical.
Yep.
Coming in second place was a 10, go Bucks, with 16.9%. So you Gator fans came out in full fold right there.
Yeah, so a wide range of opinions on Kyle Trask.
Yeah, and then 7, great ACC pedigree, was 14%, and then a 1, wasted pick, was 15.5%.
Okay. So, very mixed on Kyle Trask. And by the way, the biggest, obviously, domino to fall, Aaron Rodgers came out yesterday and said a whole lot. What I heard from him with his shoes off, whatever podcast he was doing by the fire there, was 2 things. Number 1, I don't think he's going back to Packers. And number 2, being in the dark, you can wipe your butt and know exactly how many sheets you need.
This is a weird cat, man. He is a weird cat.
They had a conversation. I didn't listen to that part.
Oh, I wrote about it. Trust me.
So you wrote about it?
I had to write about it last night.
So what was the gist of it? That most of his
his
number two.
He said that his craps were super smooth in this little hobbit hut of his. He only needed 2 wipes and he was out. Some of them he said he didn't even need a wipe.
How do you know?
I mean, he said it.
How do you know? You got to look at the.
I don't know.
The evidence to understand if you got it all.
I don't know. I can't believe I had to write this yesterday,
By the
but
way,
I did.
You ever go into those stalls where the toilet paper it dispenses one piece of paper at a time because it's like on an oblong, and every time you pull it, you can only get like one piece.
Yes.
And you have to try to reach in and like take it off the roller so you can get more than one. Is that the most frustrating thing in the world? We have one of those here at the Great CP Studios. I'm like, just get me a roll off the roller. So
this was trending on Twitter yesterday, so I'm going to ask it real quick.
Yeah.
I give up and go, okay. Are you when you put the toilet paper on the roll?
Yeah.
Are you one of those where it comes down this way?
Under or over?
Are you under or over?
I don't care. Although Ashley's like, it has to be over.
It's
or
over.
She loses her mind.
Same.
What's
it's
the
gotta
difference?
be over.
What's the difference?
It's a mind thing.
What's the difference?
It's got to be over.
No, it doesn't matter. And first of all, the one thing that matters is the type. You always spend extra dough. It's the only thing I'll pay retail for, but I'll still